First, you must realize that you have no idea before you can know the idea. We scan across all the frequencies if we want to learn anything new. Let us begin.
What has physics done for me lately?
Furthermore, the equation E is equal mc squared.
We have now acquired a fateful power to alter and to destroy nature.
That's like when you're in physics and you go to Dreamworld saying, oh, this is a physics excursion.
Science. What is it all about?
The whole of human history all falls in the dust of one stroke of the nail file. You can't really get to grips with evolution unless you realise what an enormous amount of time.
Our own planet is only a tiny part of the vast cosmic tapestry, a starry fabric of worlds yet untold.
You are tuned into what can only be described as the best radio station on this blue dot we call Earth. It is, of course, 4ZZZ, your community broadcaster, be it on your conventional wireless radio by tuning into the classic frequency of 102.1 FM, digital devices such as DAB or smart speaker, listening via the Community Radio Plus app, or streaming us live from our sensational website at 4ZZZ.org. And of course, you can always listen back to us or any 4ZZZ show for that matter using the ingenious on-demand feature also found at that URL. We also now have a weekly podcast of the show for your listening pleasure, curated by Toby, a condensed version of the show without the music, which my mum prefers. Just search for our show name, which is, of course, No Idea, spelt with a K, your weekly dose of science. And joining me for this episode to speak about all things science are two of my favourite science influencers. Good morning, Peter.
Hello, Max.
Good morning, Gabrielle.
Morning. It is episode number, does anyone remember?
672.
70.
That's it?
Yeah.
672. You know, there's a young star that's called HBC 672. And
There's got to be one for every number.
Yeah.
Come
But
on.
this one has a nickname called Bat Shadow.
That's sick.
The star, the way it's sort of, we can't actually see the planet very much. It's the planet that makes a shadow, but the star casts this like bat-shaped shadow against the galaxy.
Literally,
That's nice.
It's the bat signal.
it's the back signal, but it's planetary.
Far away. Yeah.
Superman's got a problem.
Only detectable by the Hubble and I'm sure the James Webb Space Telescopes.
Yeah.
Max, coming up on the show, I've got something on a new mini tyrannosaur.
Oh, good.
There could be a new species of tyrannosaur. This is another one of these things that we step into, Max, in the paleontology world where they just hate each other over this.
We love paleontology beef on this show.
No winners. And it's just brutal scientific takedowns. But we're going to just dip our toe into it very carefully. And then I've got some stuff on why giraffes have long legs.
Oh, cool.
What do you got?
Cool. I've got two of my favourite species, yet again. Just pumping out some cool stuff. I'm not going to break it down, but some very cool stuff going on.
I'm doing something called Enfacement illusion. So this sort of goes along the lines of what Peter was talking about when, you're hitting your hand, your pretend hand with a hammer. Anyway.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you might
rubber hand illusion.
You might just school up on that, Peter, because I'll call you out on that, and then I'll
it's
talk
top of my
about what I'm
brain,
doing.
Max. At all points of time,
And
I can talk about the rubber hand illusion.
It'll be good for Peter to get some good PR going out at the moment, Max,
Why is
because
that?
I meant to mention this a few weeks ago when it came out, but the tropical cyclone names got released for the upcoming cyclone.
Yes, I did see this.
They released the names to come as like a warning of here's what we're using this season. And there's Fina and Grant. They do alphabetical, right? One letter of the alphabet down, and they just take a name. So there's Fina, there's Grant, there's Haley, there's Iggy. And if we keep going down to the last option available in this cyclone season, it is Peta.
I'm so excited. I want to be a cyclone so bad.
Spelled with an A on the end, or?
Spelled with an A. It's my name.
Peta. Yeah. I think the last one was in 2013. That's what I saw. Okay. But so there could be Cyclone Peta coming Queensland's way sometime.
That would be so cool. I mean, I hope I don't kill anyone, but it would be cool.
Because dinosaurs did not go extinct. We know that. Not dinosaurs. Many dinosaurs went extinct, but dinosaurs did not go extinct. We have them all around us. They're called birds.
Yeah.
I just like to really lay down the law there.
As a marine scientist.
As a marine scientist, I'm here to talk
We got
to you
birds.
about birds.
That's it. The fish of the
and it
air.
may have not been a meteorite.
Hit it. Hit it. Hurry up.
Yeah.
We've got Issy.
Hello.
We got Peter. We got Gabe. And we got this. Nice. What do you got for us, Peter?
I've got octopuses.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah. We all know. I love them. It's not just octopuses, actually, though. They're not really the feature of the story. But cephalopods like octopuses, squids, and cuttlefish can instantly change colour. It's one of the coolest things that they do, and in my opinion, the most impressive camouflage on the planet. They can also change textures, too, which is like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But it relies on a pigment in their skin called Xanthommatin. It's a little difficult because there's two M's in there, but yeah, Xanthommatin.
Yep.
Usually I'm way better at this. Xanthommatin. But beyond cephalopods, Xanthommatin is also found in insects within the arthropod group, contributing to monarch butterflies with their orange and their yellow, and apparently some dragonflies are really bright red. I didn't know that. I haven't seen those. I don't tend to look at dragonflies because I find them terrifying.
The fish of the air.
No. We've established on this show the birds are the fish of the air. There's pigment. Very important, very cool, makes a lot of cool colours. So scientists have really wanted to study and harness this pigment for a bunch of different things for a very long time. But it's been kind of impossible to produce enough of it because you don't want to go killing a bunch of insects or octopuses to try and get it out of them. It doesn't really work. So they wanted to see, how do you make large amounts of a delicate marine pigment sustainably? So I'm going to tell you who did this, and you're going to see if you can guess how they've done it, okay? So it's the University of California, San Diego. QS ranking, please.
80.
This 45.
35.
34, Izzy. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Closest we've had in a while.
Time, is he like
On time, I'm still 15 minutes late.
Nearly. Closer. And if you come at the start of the show, you'll be getting the QS rankings bang on every time. That's how we know it'll happen.
Too powerful.
But within the University of California, San Diego, they collaborated between the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, which we talk about a lot because I love them, and the Skaggs School of Pharmacy. Any ideas on what those two would combine forces to do?
Can we get the acronyms again?
Skaggs.
SEO and I don't know what Skaggs is. It's actually not an acronym. I think that might unfortunately be someone's name.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's worse actually. Pharmacy and oceanography.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's looking for medicines in the same way that people will use things.
We're looking for
venom
pigment.
And things. Pigment specifically.
We're looking for pigment. We're trying to remake pigment. Yeah. That is the aim.
I could only imagine it's about, skin grafting or something and matching skin colours or something like that.
Interesting idea. No. They tricked bacteria into doing the job for them. That's how they've done this. So, if anyone wants to guess the bacteria, it's kind of the bacteria you use in labs.
E. coli.
It's E. coli. So they engineered E. coli to produce xanthommatin. They developed this new trick. So this is a whole new way of doing things, and it's called growth-coupled biosynthesis. Essentially, the problem is that you can't just tell bacteria to make something, make a protein, make whatever, because it's a major metabolic burden. They just won't do it because why would they? There's not
They'll
much
be
benefit.
actively evolving in the lab setup to
not do it.
To not do it because the ones that aren't doing it are surviving better because they're spending less energy on not making it.
It's a huge metabolic burden, so that it doesn't work. They need to do something else. So the researchers very cleverly modified the microbe's genome so that they could only survive if they produce the pigment.
Very nice.
Snookered them. That's the way to do it. Essentially, the way they did it is that every pigment molecule also produced and generated formic acid, which is the thing that's keeping the bacteria alive. So the only way to get formic acid is to make this pigment. So if you don't make the pigment, you die.
Yeah,
so pigment
it's a bit
production,
like what we do with Max. He only gets water when he's in the studio.
It's true. So we have to keep him at Z at all costs.
for the rest of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, so the one thing that I am not 100% on here, and I'm going to be clear, apparently they were like, okay, so that's great. We've got these bacteria making pigment. Woo, good job. And then they went, let's push them even more. And Max, you're going to be very excited because the way they did that is they just said, we used robots.
Cool.
They used robotic systems to guide the microbes through 2 rounds of high throughput adaptive laboratory evolution. And again, I want to be clear. I don't know what they mean when they say that. Like how they
just
told the
automation.
bacteria to
Must
do
be
this.
automation, some sort. Yeah.
What, an automation of a living species? Like, what are you talking about? So that wasn't really stepped out in anything I could see of how they did that. But
There might be
they
a
did
bit
say,
of IP there, so they just
through robots, they pushed the bacteria to have higher output.
Yeah.
So that's great. Good for them. Go robots, helping them out. So what happened? Traditional chemical synthesis of this pigment is 5 milligrams per litre. With this new bacterial method, 1 to 3 grams per litre. 1,000 times more pigment than before. So that's just like an astronomical jump. And the researchers absolutely stoked. I found this really great quote from lead researcher Leah Bouchen. She said, "It was one of my best days in the lab. I'd set up the experiment and left it overnight. When I came in the next morning and realised it worked and it was producing a lot of pigment, I was thrilled. Moments like that are why I do science." Which I just think is the cutest thing, because you just love to see it. You love to see scientists loving their job and being able to do some cool stuff and having a breakthrough. End point here is that Xanthommatin can now be grown sustainably in bacteria. And according to the researchers, collaborators are already interested in exploring the material's natural camouflage capabilities, while skincare companies are actually interested in using it in natural sunscreens, which I think could be cool, although also maybe interesting. I wouldn't want to, like, you know how you have those glasses that turn into sunglasses when you turn outside?
Oh, yes,
I don't want that to be my face for really obvious reasons. But yeah, lots of industries are looking at colour-changing household paints, which would be cool. You have a wall that goes to red when it's hot or something, and environmental sensors. There's lots of stuff. But the coolest thing, I think, is that the researchers think that this approach, they're like programming the E. coli to not be able to live without it, could work for lots of other high-value biological materials like dyes, coatings, all sorts of stuff. Hopefully, in the future, if we find something cool in a sponge, for example, we can just make a bacteria that needs to make it to live. And then, ba-bam, biomanufacturing. That's my story.
Very cool.
Max, a flamingo's on the list.
No, not yet, but they got a wonderful plumage, I've been told.
Sorry, they're not on the list of birds you know, but you're aware that they've got a lovely plumage. Vaguely aware
Maybe
of
this is what conversations were like in ye olde England in like the 1700s. I've heard tale of these flamingos and their flamboyant
Tell me
plumage.
about this black swan you found in WA.
Still one of the best. You tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max. We got Issy, we got Peta, we got Gabe, and we're getting a couple of texts in for a bit of love for the Instagram post we did. Marissa did it for us, but we got Natalie texting in saying the video was hilarious and no backseat driving from Max, 5 stars. And Jenny jumped in and said, I love the 4ZZZ instructional video on making a request. I love No Idea.
Oh, nice. Wow, tongue twister for you, Max.
It had a heart there, and I had to sort of think what that means.
What?
What do you got for us, Gabe?
I hope it's about emojis, because Max still seems to need an education.
Actually, this is one of the few things I talk about that has a relevant emoji to it, because there is a Tyrannosaurus Rex emoji.
Oh, yeah, there is.
There is one. Almost nothing else we talk about has one, but we have a T-Rex
Hey, there's an orca one, there's a shark one. Don't be talking about your own stuff. My stuff's plenty covered.
Still only like 2 plants.
Yeah, no, one's a sapling.
Yeah, screw plants. Who cares about plants?
Big tree, little tree. That's it. Grass.
And a Christmas tree.
And a Christmas tree. Anyway, T-Rexes. We got into this debate 3 years ago on the show. Because there was this proposal put out for 2 new species of Tyrannosaurus, which is the genus that includes Tyrannosaurus Rex. Currently, the only thing that everyone accepts is that there was a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then there's proposals for more Tyrannosaurus on top.
Yeah.
Well, we at least know that is true. That's good. Good to get that out of the way.
And so, but this proposal
bigger
put up
arms,
for.
I hope.
Well, interesting you say that, Max. Bottle that. I'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah. But so they proposed 2 more, I think, in 2022, and then a lot of others, paleontologists shot it down. There's a lot of issues in the paleontology space about access to a lot of these high-profile fossils, like these T-Rex fossils in particular. People get them in private collections, and then other scientists can't vet the work. So there is this real methodology problem where they can't check each other's work, which, replication's core to science. But they got a bit shut down. What we've got now is another proposal for a new species of mini tyrannosaur, which is not actually if it does get accepted widely, it won't be a Tyrannosaurus. It will be a different genus, but still in the overall group of Tyrannosaur. So there's already a couple of different genuses of Tyrannosaurs. And what they're saying is there are fossils that are currently called young juvenile T-Rexes that are a completely different species in a completely different branch.
Literally is a little baby.
Yeah. Exactly right. This specific specimen is a complete specimen of Tyrannosaur that was discovered in the Hell Creek Formation in Montana, USA.
Cool name. Dope name.
Pretty damn cool. It's got an even cooler name itself. This one fossil is called the dueling dinosaurs.
Well, at least they're creative as well as having beef, you know?
Yeah.
Did they have
Good for them.
Well, Max, there was a Triceratops and a Tyrannosaur, and the Tyrannosaur is known as Bloody Mary, and the two were
cool.
appear to be sort of locked in battle, but we're in the same fossil. Yeah. So for whatever reason, what they know is that this Tyrannosaur that's currently called Tyrannosaurus Rex is only about 5 meters tall, which is much shorter than the Tyrannosaurus Rexes are known to get, and it only weighs about 700 kilograms, which is much lighter than Tyrannosauruses are known to get. They get like 7,000 kilos heavy based on what the fossils we have.
They did get at that point when they were alive. There were no live Tyrannosaurs.
That's right.
Let's just be clear on that one.
Not that we know of.
Oh my God, not the megalodon thing again.
And so this new paper has been published in Nature. So we do have to take that quite seriously.
Yeah,
that is the big journal. Yeah. And it comes from a number of institutions across the USA and South Africa. And what they've done is gone through this particular specimen and outlined why they think it is grounds for a different species, not just being a juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex. The first bit is it's 20 years old. So you can count growth rings in bones, even fossilized bones. Right. And that's a good indication of years because, or at least you can do approximations because it's, like most animals most mammals and reptiles and other vertebrates will put on more bone mass in good times of the year. And so you can kind of see how that growth changes. And then you can count the years from that. Like you can get the seasons.
Same as trees and fish.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing.
But you sort of disproved it last week, didn't you, Peter, with your fish one?
That was not the point. No, what I said was that if you use electron microscopes and electrons, you can actually see it at a much more intense level. So you can
granular level, yeah.
That still exists. We can just look closer. And then there was a sort of mystery of like a daily change, which they don't know. No. But that still exists. That is still true for fish and many other animals.
So this fossil is 20 years old. And based on the growth that we have of all the Tyrannosaurus fossils, currently there's this really weird growth curve proposed for the Tyrannosaurus Rex to make all of these fossils work, where they slowly grow up until about 10 years, and then they start spiking and from between 10 and 20 years to hit their maximum size, which is not...
That's weird.
Like the
no one does
similar
that.
species and stuff alive today doesn't really grow like that. Like,
why would you?
Very slow growth for 10 years and then a massive acceleration for the next 10 years is weird.
There's like that meme online about, my baby's put on this much weight in this many weeks, so following this trajectory should be 1 billion kilos. Like, that's great. It's funny.
And what's even weirder about this particular specimen is its arm bones, Max, are fused or beginning to fuse. And so animals, like vertebrates, start fusing joints together in old age. That's when that starts happening typically. So if this was a young one about to go through the biggest growth spurt of its life, it would be very strange for it to have fused bones. Then they also found, Max, the arms themselves are proportionally longer than the arms of the T-Rex.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the growth rings that I talked about.
It's like the opposite of a toddler.
Yeah, the growth rings have started slowing down, indicative of nearing end stages of life, not about to go through a big growth spurt at the big, in the early stages, juvenile stages of life. So all of that stuff and some other evidence has been used to show this doesn't make sense for this to be a juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex. This must be something else. And if it is a different species, they're wildly different from T-Rexes.
Yeah.
They're 700 kilos versus 6.7 to 8.2 thousand kilograms as the maximum weights based on current specimens. 5.5 meters long versus 12 meters long. And so what they're saying is that this is probably, if this gets backed up, with additional research, and this is a separate branch, different genus altogether. Not only does it mean that they have to re-evaluate ecology of Tyrannosaurus rexes, because there's been this assumption that they stay really small for a really long time and look like this when they're juveniles and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, that would
we've been
make it a
mixing
bit whack.
together two different groups, but also means that these two very different predators, similarly related, but physically and functionally very different in size and
Yeah, well, you can't take down the same prey if you're a quarter the size.
would have been living at the same time. And this fossil deposit actually comes from 67 million years ago, which is right before, in geographic time, like a million years before the end of the dinosaurs.
Yeah,
so it was showing that there was this really big diversity in this part of the world of predators. And as a result, probably lots of other diversity around them.
I was going to say the other thing, when you have something that's so diverse, so different between, and you think it's in the same family, that does imply that there are other things between them as well. Or at least there was, at some point in time, something between them, because that's a huge gap.
So there'll be more to be said on this, but it seems likely that there is a new group of tyrannosaurs. It's the genus called Nanotyrannus.
Aww, little babies.
That's what I got for you, Max. Biological representation in emojis is a joke. I'm sick of it. You keep looking for stuff. There's like 4 versions of a chicken and one eagle, and then there's no other bird.
Okay, but we do need to acknowledge our own privilege in this situation, is that Japanese people love Australian animals, and so there is a koala and a kangaroo on there. Like, we're slightly overrepresented.
And 2 types of
mushrooms. Compare that to New Zealand, there's no kiwi.
There's only like 2 trees. One of them's a sapling.
Hey, there's a palm tree.
Yeah. You tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max. We've got Issy, we've got Peta, we've got Gabe, we've got this. This study that I'm going to talk about wants to boost the recollection of your lived memories, including memories from your early childhood.
Sign me up. Let's go, Max.
Published in science. You're going to love this. It's published in Scientific Reports, which is a part of your favourite journal group, Nature. The research is the first to show that adults can access early memories more effectively after temporarily viewing themselves with a childlike version of their own face.
Whoa. Wait, so, sorry, are we talking like a Snapchat filter, or can you just look at a photo of yourself when you're young?
It's better than that. Anyway, I'll get into it.
Goodness.
Neuroscientists at Anglia Ruskin University, or ARU, it doesn't have a QS ranking, recruited 50 adult volunteers. The experiment used what is known as an enfacement illusion, a technique that helps people feel as though another face they see on screen is actually their own reflection. So, yeah, this is where I was going on, Peter.
What?
Yeah, no.
Oh, with the rubber hand illusion, I see.
Yes. For this study, each participant watched a live video of their own face that was digitally modified with an image filter to resemble how they might have looked as a child.
Oh, it is a Snapchat
So it's like it's a Snapchat filter.
As participants moved their heads, the on-screen image mirrored their movements, creating the sensation that the childlike face was truly theirs. A control group, this is the sad bit, a control group experienced the same setup but viewed their unaltered adult faces. After completing the illusion, participants were asked to take part in an autobiographical memory interview designed to prompt recollections from both their early life and from the previous year. Researchers measured how much detail participants included when describing their episodic autobiographical memories. The findings revealed that people who saw the younger version of themselves remember significantly more detailed events from childhood than those who saw their regular adult face. The results provide the first evidence that subtle changes in bodily self-perception can influence how deeply we access distant memories.
Did they check it?
How do you mean? If it was true or not?
So when I was doing psychology, one of the things that they talk about a lot, and also when I was doing criminology as well, it's a really important thing, is that humans are like, yes, we have cool memories, but we also rewrite and
retell the
remember
truth.
things that did not exist.
Yeah, so that's
It's not necessarily not telling the truth because you don't know it. You might legitimately think it's a memory, but if like a lot of the times when you do ask people about their early memories, one of the things they'll do is they'll go and try and check with other people in their lives, like your parents or things like that. Like try and find proof of it, because often if you ask someone about something that you can't find proof of, there's then no way of saying, is that a real memory? Or was it something like, I saw a young version of myself and I imagined myself doing something, or your brain imagined something and then you think it's a memory.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very difficult to prove that they're memories. Like, if it's gotten, in a journal, it's probably very, it's probably pretty well done. But it's a red flag that comes up in my head anytime we talk about stuff like this.
Fair enough. And you got a good memory of your childhood, Peter?
I have a very good early childhood memory to the point where, and I do check it frequently, but when I was a little, or like when I was, whenever I talk about stuff like that, sometimes my parents will be like, oh my God, I can't believe you remember that. Like they didn't think that I would remember it, but they do.
Yeah.
And I have frequently had to ask them to verify things because people don't believe me that I remember back that far, but they will verify it. Like my earliest memory is, I think I was 1.5, maybe 2, and I was going down and feeding the birds at the lake near my house in Auckland, and I have a very clear memory of that, and people think that's very odd. I also have memories of reading really early because I started reading really early. I remember the books I used to read. So yeah, weird things like that.
But as you
we
say,
could all test this ourselves, though. It's pretty easy to get some sort of youngification filter
Oh, they're everywhere.
The apps you use or on the App Store. I reckon it's worth giving it a try.
I think we might give it a go.
See if you can remember anything, Gabe.
I wonder if it changes based on how young you try and make yourself look.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if it triggers different memories.
Did they say what was early life in their study? Like how young were they asking them to remember?
I didn't drill down that far. I just looked at the novelty of it all and just sort of.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's interesting.
Yeah.
We can have a look at it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take this on as a group project this week and see if we can recover anything.
Well, they're hoping it'll shed more light on what they call the childhood amnesia. So
yeah, no, it's a huge thing. Lots of people have it, and I will say, as I've gotten older, I notice that I've lost memories that I remember having. Like I remember retelling stories, and now I don't have them anymore, which is really weird.
So this could be good for you if we do this.
It could be great for me. Maybe I'll get them back.
Do you know what tuna is?
Fish.
It's fish!
Thank God someone's working on this. I don't know what I'd do without it.
Fish are friends, not food.
Great start. Gabe, what does the cat say?
Yeah.
Max, what does the chicken say?
Cluck, cluck.
And Issy, what does a shark say? I love it every time. Okay, I'm going to start us off with a question, guys. Nature versus nurture. What are some things you think might be nature, built into us from birth?
Ooh.
You should have given us a bit of time.
I was going to say, give us a heads up.
Oh, wow, guys, I really thought it would be a little
Time
faster.
for these questions now.
Nature.
What, send them ahead of time
I
so you can do
swear it
homework.
used to be like name an animal, and now we're
Name a woman.
Name a woman.
Name a cyclone.
I don't like what. Breathing, eating, that kind of stuff.
Breathing, eating is great.
basic?
I would assume some predators or threats, right? Like, don't walk into fire seems to be a common one that lots of animals do have.
So nature is you put a child next to an edge of a table and they will not fall out. You know, they'll
height
is
one of
worried
the-
about that. That's a no one. Right?
I sometimes forget you have a psychology degree.
Yeah. Isn't height
And
one
children.
Isn't height one of the only established fears that's actually built in? The fear of height, and the rest are
There's
typically
not
learned?
many. That's what I'm getting at
In
here. Is there
humans.
actually aren't that many.
That's
One of the
cool.
things I thought was predators, right? Like cats have an inbuilt fear of snakes. If you put a cucumber behind a cat, they freak out. They have an inbuilt fear of snakes. But apparently humans don't.
Or
Because
cucumbers for some reason.
Or cucumbers.
We can't rule that out.
I didn't have a snake handy to put behind my cat. But one time I was at the zoo and I saw this little girl go right up to this red. She was like, "Mummy, mummy!" Ran up to the red belly black snake and started like tapping it on the glass.
Yeah.
And I could see in her mum's face the realization of, oh God, I cannot take this child bushwalking. Like, that is terrifying. You could just see her realize that if we were in the wild, her kid would be dead. Probably, or close to. It was just not great.
We can treat a red belly black snake, but please go to a hospital if you get
Oh, yeah, go to hospital.
Don't just give up.
Don't do that. I'm just saying if she was in the wild, it may not survive on their own. So, okay, well, we're talking about white sharks, and they only have, or great white sharks, but I'm going to call them white sharks, their real name. They have only one known natural predator in the ocean. Does anyone know who it is?
Megalodon.
We're not talking. I will not encourage Megalodon talk.
Isn't it?
It's the orca. Yeah, the orca. They are the major
And they turn
predator
them
in the
upside
ocean.
down and bang, game over.
Really interesting you mentioned that because actually that wasn't really a thing. Like I thought I'd heard of this before too.
Yeah.
But what's happened is there's been new footage of this come out and it's essentially new. So just bear with me for this. I also thought this was more common, but it isn't. So you would assume that there's something built into sharks to be afraid of orcas. I'm pretty afraid. I was afraid of orcas when I was a little kid. But some new observations from Mexico show that white sharks might not actually be scared of orcas from birth. So
From Mexico?
From Mexico. So this is the
Isn't
thing.
there that the pair off South Africa, the port and starboard, who are
This
very
is
known
it.
for it? But because the great whites there, I bring it up because the great whites there, they did measure a fear response when those 2 killer whales would come in and usually take one of them out. The white sharks left the area for an extended period of time.
So this is the interesting thing, right? I knew that story too, and I thought prolific. They do it all the time. It's been viewed one time of a juvenile, and then some of the adults as well. But it's been very, very rare. One odd thing is that despite the massive overlap in not only orca and white sharks' ranges, aka the entire ocean, and their trophic niche, they both hunt for the same things. There are incredibly few observations of orcas interacting with white sharks. In fact, there's only been recorded in South Africa, California, and right here in Australia. We really don't know that much about their relationship. We do know that they are terrified of them in their adulthood. Like what we said, there's one attack and the rest of them just flee, they're gone. In fact, they actually vacate those habitual feeding aggregations and don't return for years on end to avoid predation. Like they're so scared they just don't come back. So we know that they're scared of orcas. But what's happened in Mexico, all right? So during long-term field monitoring of this pod, known as Moctezuma's pod in the Gulf of California, researchers have seen 2 instances of orcas specifically and precisely targeting juvenile white sharks. So the first event was recorded in August of 2020. There was a pod of 5 female orcas and they were following a juvenile white shark, so around 2 meters. That's pretty young. The first orca struck it from below and then flipped it and stunned it. And essentially they would just keep working at striking it and trying to flip it. And we want to flip it because get that tonic immobility, which is essentially where sharks become physically motionless, like they kind of become paralyzed, but also almost hypnotized. So they lose all their ability to fight back, essentially. So it's a good strategy from the orcas side to put them into this tonic immobility. But it also puts them on their backs, which shows their liver. And that's something we know about orcas, is that they do love a liver. Livers are very, very high in nutrients, so we know that they go for them in both white sharks and other prey as well, like even sperm whales, they'll go for a liver. So they love things like that. So in this first thing, they flipped it over and then they dove the shark down, so away from the surface. The researchers couldn't see, but then when they came back up, one of the females had the liver in their mouth and then they started passing it around. And then really interesting, they immediately targeted another juvenile white shark about the same size in the same area. So right one after another. Got one liver, went around, attacked it multiple times, exposed the liver, took bits of it out and started going away. So that happened once. And then in August 2022, so 2 years later, they saw the same thing again. 5 orcas pushed a young white shark onto its back, causing it to bleed from the gills, and then exposed its liver and took some of its liver. So this is highly coordinated strategy, right? Like they said that it felt almost military. Like they just went, they flipped it, they got the liver, they were gone. They knew exactly what they were doing. They think that it's a culturally transmitted thing because it's just this one pod of the Moctezuma pod in the California Gulf. And that then there's this other thing of the South Africa orcas. So port and starboard doing this. They have only been seen to do it to a juvenile, or it has only been seen to be done to a juvenile once in South Africa. So this has only been seen once before. This is the first time we've seen them repeatedly going after juveniles and like targeting juveniles, not even just they found one and went after it. They seem to be looking for them. And they do think it's interesting. The one in South Africa, by the way, was also a lot bigger. It wasn't quite as juvenile. It was 2.5 meters, which they say is essentially a teenager. So this is younger and more targeted. And they think it's interesting because with warmer waters and climate cycles, the El Niño apparently appears to have shifted the white shark nursery more into the Gulf of California. So there's going to be more juveniles in the Gulf of California in the future. So they'll be sort of getting together and maybe having more of these interactions. So there's lots of things that can come from this. Essentially, the top-down predator dynamics may shift. It's going to affect the great white shark distribution and population recovery because they have their own issues. But it also is really interesting and says that we need to study cultural hunting in orcas because we clearly don't know that much.
And if it's in Mexico and South Africa, could be
yes,
elsewhere.
although I don't know, they did not say whether it is the exact same sequence. We know they both flip them over, but honestly, if you're an intelligent animal and you know that sharks become immobile when you flip them over, it's not a huge leap to figure that out separately either. But it has only been seen in 2 areas, So crazy stuff coming out of the orca world at the moment. They will continue to look at this pod because it's a known pod. So we'll see more, hopefully.
Fair enough. Thanks for that, Peter.
Okay, it's time for the best part of the show. Loosely defined as science, you already know. Everybody listens to 4ZZZ just to hear us talking about what Butters just did. Subscriptions just keep rolling like the tires on a car. But something tells me that our science curves won't go far. But unlike an engine, I won't keep you in suspension. We're all here to hear him talk, so let's give him attention. You're not ready for when he starts rapping. Gonna hand the mic to Max, and I'm not talking Van Stappen.
We'll kick it off with some F1.
Let's do it.
It's in Brazil this weekend. The 2 McLaren drivers, Lando Norris and our boy Aussie Oscar Piastri, 1 point separates them in the championship this year, and the only other person who could possibly spoil the party is Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who is 35 points behind, which is pretty far away. What do you think? What's thinking of who will win this year's championship with only 4 rounds to go?
Oh,
it's interesting, isn't it?
I feel like the odds are in Lando Norris's favour, but I'm going to say
because he's coming
Oscar
good
Piastri.
at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? But I'm going to say Oscar Piastri, the Aussie. You got to back him in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
There has been many a conspiracy thrown around about why Lando has become so good in the kind of end, whether something has happened over the summer break to the cars, or I know Oscar was complaining about certain elements of the car as well. So whether he's felt disconnected with the car, I don't know. I do want to see an Oscar win, and whether that is him winning the championship or potentially moving teams. So there's been discussion about whether or not this will be a snubbing, but it is really down to the 1 point, isn't it? Difference between the 2 drivers. So this will be very exciting to see, but I hope Oscar can pull through.
Can we get a quick anthem?
Yeah, it's at 7. It's at 7 at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I need Oscar to win exactly 2 races.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yeah,
okay.
and I need him to win 5 times.
Which I don't think is happening.
The maths is in. There is still a sprint weekend or something, so
yeah, so there's a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance.
There's a chance. But I think Gabe's the closest on 8. And anyway, we'll see what happens. I mean, there is a rumour as well, like now that the points are so close that Lando Norris is better at setting up a car during quali, and they're not actually passing on his information to Oscar.
That's not true.
That's not true?
No,
okay.
That's not true.
That's why I said a rumour. Okay, it's a big caveat there. Anyway, okay. Williams have now, they'll have a new logo for 2026.
Oh, yes.
It's based on their 1970s logo, apparently. And the team
I couldn't
also
see a difference, Max. I thought I was looking at the same logo.
a W is a W, you know. The team will be also known as Atlassian Williams F1 team instead of just Williams Racing on the end. And we've got a subscriber.
Whoa, we got a subscriber.
Oh, really? Look, and I got the Jack baby harp seal. Ready? In less important news, a Ferrari driver, Charles Leclerc, has proposed to his partner, Alexandra, and they announced their engagement this week. It even got a lot of traction on normal Reddit, not just F1 Reddit, actual Reddit. And then people were saying, who the hell are these 2 people? Sure, they're pretty good looking, but who cares? You know, so.
I don't think it was quite who cares. Who are these good-looking celebrities that I've never heard of?
Very attractive couple.
Yeah. So now I'm a bit concerned because the TV edits have been so good during the last racing. Now they're going to see lots of partners and family during the telecast.
Yeah, back to the WAG cam.
I was going to say, if you're not chronically online and you probably haven't seen, or maybe you have noticed it without seeing the online discussions, but
every time, at least prior to Austin, they would just continuously cut to the Wags or to the sisters or to the brothers, family, whatever. Everyone, as soon as this announcement came up, was like, oh my God, we're just going to get continuous cuts. Which is like, it's fun the first couple of times, but holy
Maybe
hell.
they'll put in, like Japanese TV, they've got those live reaction cams. Maybe we'll just get that starting up now.
Oh, I think they literally have done picture-in-picture for it.
They have done picture-in-picture before. But now it's just going to be constant. Like, I don't know where Lance Stroll is. I don't know where Lewis Hamilton is, but I know Alexandra is in the pit and is watching.
Yeah, they even followed her out into the paddock one time.
Yes.
It's crazy talk.
Yeah, crazy.
Anyway, the FIA ran into a bit of trouble recently. Not trouble, but good trouble.
Well, there was a bit of a vulnerability in one of their websites, and some white hat hackers managed to get a hold of Max Verstappen's passport. Well, they didn't actually. They could get as far as, like, for ethical reasons, being white hat hackers. So we should explain what that is. How would you put it, Dad?
They're just people who go around checking for vulnerabilities on websites, and then they pass that information on to the company concerned. And if they don't report on it or fix it within the 6 months, then they'll make it public.
Exactly. Luckily here, the FIA actually responded very nicely, because sometimes it can go either way, right? Like organisations might be embarrassed or whatever.
Head in the sand stuff, yeah.
Exactly. And the FIA actually, all credit to them, acknowledged the vulnerability and repaired it. So no more accessing Max Verstappen. It's got here, it listed his CV, his license.
CV?
And his passport.
CV?
Yeah, he's got a CV.
Yeah.
I can only assume it just says, I drive cars fast. And that's it. But,
I love the idea of him having to put together like a Word document and having references. You know what? They're just like us. They're just like us.
True. Yeah.
Anyway, great to see that from the FIA. Good stuff.
NASCAR also happened on the weekend. It was the last week race of the year. Kiwi Shane Van Gisbergen finished well down the order, so he had a quiet race. The championship was won by Kyle Larson. F1 Academy.
Yeah, we have unfortunate news. Tag Heuer driver and Aussie Ava Ava Anagostis will not participate in the final round of the F1 Academy season, coming up in November 20 to 22nd, following surgery on her left foot. This isn't the first time Ava's had to miss out on a racing session because of her foot, after having to miss the previous session in Singapore due to it being fractured. So I think she's still in rehab at the moment for that injury. So Scottish driver Rachel Robertson will step into the Tag Heuer seat after being one of the 18 drivers selected to participate in the F1 Academy rookie test, which is a very high achievement. The 18-year-old finished back-to-back top 5 finishes in both of these tests and will be making her debut in this role, which is, of course, Las Vegas. So very, very exciting for her. Also in exciting news, F1 Academy will renew and expand their support for the Champions of the Future Academy, with 27 female drivers set to be supported in 2026. Selected drivers will not only participate in the F1 Academy Discover Your Drive program with branded kits and race suits, they also get signed to a motorsport event management company and a 30% discount on their participation entry fees. So this is a huge opportunity. This program has had a 30% increase in female participation in driving in 2025 since its inaugural year in 2023. The program has also expanded with 2 new initiatives in the United Arab Emirates and in Britain as well, which is 2 sources of most female drivers' backgrounds. So this is really exciting, and I think I'm looking forward to not only the final round, but also what 2026 brings for the girls. So that's my F1 Academy wrap up. But yeah, unfortunate for Ava, I saw her make the announcements on Instagram and then also previously in Singapore. Yeah. So I think this injury continues to cause some problems. And your foot is pretty essential in F1.
It's pretty
I don't know if you guys have seen that clip of people comparing how much force you have to put when you're driving an F1 car, because it is a lot. Yeah. And especially with G-force and momentum behind you can make it somewhat easier, but it's still a lot of pressure. So wishing her a speedy recovery.
Totally.
I think that's it.
Any more to add for the MotoRap this week?
We got MotoGP coming up this weekend in Portugal and F1 coming up in Brazil this weekend as well. And then Supercars, F1 Academy and SailGP are all a few weeks away still.
Cool. It's no secret that the MotoRap is a somewhat divisive segment.
Yes, within the team.
Yeah.
One person, me, does not like it.
But it does tick the box, the STEM box, and like science.
Does it?
Yes.
Where?
Science,
When do we talk about it?
Science, technology, engineering, and motorsport.
And when do we? Oh, right. I see. We've changed the acronym.
STEM.
You got me right before I rolled up.
You tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea, your weekly dose of science with me, Max, Issy. We've got Peta. What do you got for us, Gabe?
I've got giraffe stuff for you, Max, because I think
the long
we all
legs.
know. So we all know why giraffes have long necks, right?
So they can reach leaves and trees.
Thank you.
Reach tall
Well done,
trees.
class. So they can reach, particularly acacia leaves they're going for up high. There's a whole arms race across the savannah between the animals want to eat the various acacias and the acacias fighting back with big long spikes and things.
And growing taller.
And then the giraffes get tall, and then they get tongues that can wrap around and strip the stuff off despite the spikes. And the height of the neck is to reach the tallest bits of the acacia trees where nothing else is competing with them. But why do they have long legs?
So they can run fast.
That's one idea.
Does it have something to do
So
with
they
the
don't look
leaves?
silly and they don't fall over.
What did you say, Izzy?
Does it have something to do with like the eating thing? Like, is that?
Yeah. Get them higher. It's not a trick question.
They can
guys.
jump.
I was gonna say, I was like, isn't that part of their image? Like,
Gets them up higher. It is. It's definitely part of their PR thing. Yeah. But gets them up higher, up into the acacia leaves.
Also, I still think my thing about them toppling over is relevant because you can't just grow your neck. At some point, you do need to balance it out with legs.
You could. But okay, why do they have long legs? You think that's why they have long legs and long necks? That's my next question. Why not just make a big long neck? Why put all this
Topple
energy
over.
into making 4 big long legs instead of just making one big long neck?
If you had teeny tiny legs and a long neck, if you moved it, like if you went to go get something far away, you'd just fall over.
But they got a low center of gravity though, with the shorter legs. So.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah.
Like a normal crane. Yeah.
What? Because there's downsides to long legs. There was a study that was done where they looked at animals, like including giraffes, that were approaching the water holes, and they found that giraffes have the lowest success rate of drinking when they're at a water hole because of how vulnerable they are when they do it. Because have you seen them?
They have to like
Splay
spread their
the
legs out.
all the way out,
okay.
get that neck down, and drink from the water hole.
Don't their babies also have issues because they drop quite far?
They can, they
thought
can
that
be
was a
issues there
thing,
too.
yeah.
So there's disadvantages there. They're the least successful drinkers of the herbivores of the savannah. 60% of the time they'll have a drink versus 80% for other similar herbivores. And so this new research has investigated why the long legs. If there has this evolutionary disadvantage, there must be a strong advantage. Something like balance or something else that is contributing to them really long legs. So this comes out of the University of Pretoria in South Africa and was led out of the University of Adelaide. Do you want to give me QSs for both?
Well, we know
I have
Adelaide's
no
like
idea.
300, and then the other one would be South Africa, 200. There you go.
280 and Adelaide, I'm just going to be nice to them. I'm going to say 64.
Let's go Adelaide 100, South Africa 300.
Pretty good, Izzy.
Yeah, on it.
82 for Adelaide and 362 for Pretoria. Because Adelaide is now being reported for the first time as the combined uni of was it
Flinders
South Australia and Adelaide University? Now it's the University of Adelaide or something, and so they're together. And what they did was quantify the energy cost of pumping blood from a typical adult giraffe and compared it to what it would be to an imaginary animal. They created or modelled an animal called an elaf, which was an African eland, which is you would have seen. It's a very typical thing. You would have seen a lion eat this in an Attenborough documentary or something. It's like an antelope-y looking thing with big horns, and then they modelled what that with a big long neck be like for how it would pump blood up. So if the height was the same as a current giraffe, how much energy would it take to pump blood from the elaf's body height with short legs all the way up that extra long neck? And what they found is that the animal would spend 21% of its energy budget on powering the heart, compared with 16% in giraffes, and it's down at like 9% in most similar mammals and 6.7% in humans. How much energy is getting spent pumping the blood up to the head?
They've already gone above normal for how much energy it takes to get the blood up to the brain.
Yeah.
And they've essentially hit kind of a limit. So now the neck's pretty long, time to go up with the legs. So you can get the neck, you can keep the heart as close to the brain as possible.
And they're saving net 5% of all of their food intake over the course of a year. With the amount that giraffes have to eat anyway, that's 1.5 tons of food saved by not having to find all this extra energy, assuming they would just add the energy rather than take it away from other stuff. That's 1.5 tons of food that they don't have to find, which means that giraffes have long legs, at least in part, to keep their heart closer to their heads. And it is, like you said, Peter, well, it's worth noting that the ancestors of giraffes already had elongated legs, so it's more of a case of they've evolutionarily kept the long legs,
rather than gotten rid of long legs.
Them. Yeah. But like you said, Peter, they then talk about the modelling of how a giraffe is just functionally able to operate, and they are on a limit. Their necks, their head can be about 2 meters or more above where their heart's sitting in their chest. And so to get the blood from their heart up into the head, they need a blood pressure of between 200 and 500 mmHg is the
that seems high
measurement, milligrams of mercury. And so when you get your blood pressure cuff put on and measured, they're probably looking for something around 120/80 as a reading. And so the first bit of that, the 120, the giraffes are sitting at 200 to 250, so double what a normal blood pressure would be in a human, just to pump it up into the head. They say for every meter of height that you add between the head and the heart, you need an additional 77 mmHg, milligrams of mercury, of blood pressure generated at the heart. So
don't they already have problems with fainting? I feel like I've read this somewhere because they fight with their necks a lot.
Could, yeah.
And they were saying that when they swish them too fast, they actually have a real problem with passing out because getting blood to the brain is so difficult already, and now they're using them as like weapons.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not science. That just feels like I've read that somewhere.
So, like I said, 16% of a giraffe's total energy budget's going into powering that blood pressure, pumping the blood up that neck into its head, whereas for us it's 6.7%. And like you said, Peter, this is a limit, they think. They think the giraffes may actually be functionally as tall as a mammal can be. Or a large vertebrate could be. Like they have reached the limit of how much energy you can spend pumping blood up and hit the maximum roof of how tall you can be, which is interesting when you think about something like a sauropod dinosaur. You would have seen these. These are the huge mega dinosaurs that you see fossils of with really long necks, and they can be 13 or more meters long, I think is what I remember. I think it's way longer than that, actually. They can be huge, and their necks can be much longer than a giraffe's neck is. And we often see, you've seen fossils of these sauropods, and you've got toys of them.
They're not straight up.
Well, they are often put up like a snake head, almost, with their big long neck raised up. They think if these sauropod dinosaurs actually did that for an extended period of time, they would just straight up pass out because they wouldn't be able to pump the blood that high above their heart with their head up there. So maybe they could do it periodically to check for predators or get maybe a small bite of food, but most of the time, all of these huge dinosaurs we see probably are holding their heads at or below the level a giraffe is at.
Yeah.
Like we have the giraffes are the limit. You can't get taller than that with where your heart and your head
But I'm assuming you can't get taller with a neck. You can't have a taller neck. If you brought your heart up, you might be able to do it.
Exactly right. But they based on the modelling they've done, they think pretty much a giraffe is probably the tallest land animal that has ever existed on planet Earth, just because of they've stretched to the limit. They've based on being able to drink. Their legs are probably as long as they can get and give birth and run away from predators and all the rest of it and stay balanced. And based on how much blood they can get up, they've probably got their neck as high as it gets. So a giraffe is probably a really good example of the tallest animal that tallest vertebrate animal, tallest mammal at least, that evolution can produce.
That's crazy.
That's so sick.
We've hit a limit.
They're just height maxing to the max. That's cool.
Genuinely.
Cool.
Man, that's crazy. I'd love to, because every so often you're going to get a mutation that'll make them taller, right? There's going to be one that just accidentally gets a bit taller. I'd love to see what happens to that one. You know, like, does it have more
Bit
issues with
lightheaded.
fainting? It's lightheaded all the time. It's not very good at eating.
Forgets to
Jesus, and its
It's a little
baby died.
anemic.
Just got dropped on its head. Like, all of that.
Little anemic.
Anemic giraffe.
You tuned into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max. We've got Issy, we've got Peter, we've got Gabe, and you guys, did you hear about the big hailstorms we had up here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Huge.
As I watch you in your jumpers, which is quite amusing because we're sweltering up here. But yeah, one of my cars took a bit of damage from the hailstones.
Oh, no.
So I thought I'd reprise a story that Issy did back on the 21st of August last year. So enjoy.
Now, if you know me, you know I'm a massive library nerd. I have 5 library cards in my wallet and dozens more through mutuals online and IRL. Don't get me, like, if you say meet me at the library, I'm there. I'm ready.
You're already
there. My books are there. Like, but this is one library I want access to so badly. In the University of Queensland, which QS ranking
Is 43.
40.
Was it 48? Oh, no, it is 43.
Yeah.
It was 42.
43.
Nah, 40. Game's on the money.
What?
Yeah.
43 was last year.
Yeah.
With the update.
There is a library of hailstones that help researchers better understand and even predict damaging storms.
This is so cool.
Okay, but like, thanks, Gabe. Okay, but like, how does this work? Well, we're going to start with the shapes of the hail. Most times when you see hail or hear about hail on media, you can imagine that it's a massive sphere. But actually, hail comes in many different sizes. Such unrealistic beauty standards for these hailstones. They are not normally these perfect like cricket ball spheres. They are normally, they can be flat, they can be large, they can be all sorts of like weird shapes.
Yeah.
I mean, most people living in Brisbane are pretty aware of the fact that hailstones are curvy.
Yeah, like
We've all seen the dents in people's cars.
Yeah, like disc shaped.
Yeah. So cool.
So this is the work of Dr. Joshua Soderhelm, who is a honorary senior research fellow with UQ's School of Environment and lead researcher PhD candidate Yu-Su Lin from Penn State in the US. Dr. Soderhelm stated that conventional scientific modeling of hail assumes spherical hailstones, once again those unrealistic beauty standards, and we wanted to know if that changed when non-spherical natural hail shapes were used. And to no surprise, they actually did. They used data from 217 hail samples, which were 3D scanned and then sliced in half to find out more about how it was formed inside a storm cloud. Ms. Lin stated that the modeling of more naturally shaped hail showed it took different pathways through a storm, experienced different growth, and landed in different places. And this is the coolest, it also affected the speed and the impact the hail had on the ground. So, through keeping a large library like this, researchers hope that this can create more accurate weather data for researchers who are studying kind of storm data, but also most importantly for the public and people in industries like agriculture or solar farming who may need to be aware of these massive hailstorms. So, I thought that was pretty cool.
It is. They want help too. Did you see this bit, Izzy?
I did.
They want help building the library. Because apparently they're adding to a global library where they get real hailstones, they photograph them, 3D model off the photographs, and then upload that into like a shared global thing between
That
UQ
makes
and
more
Penn
sense.
State and some other unis.
I had thought it might have been a big freezer and they were like racing back to UQ to throw them in the freezer.
There is though. There's like a whole like lab which I'm assuming is in below zero conditions because they're actively
Like a meat
photographing
locker.
hailstone.
Yeah,
It probably is a meat locker.
Do you
But they
reckon
want-
is hail?
Do you reckon they would notice if I just got some water and put it into like a fun shape? One of those, and then like, guys, this just fell out of the
It's
air.
a freak.
Hello Kitty hailstone. It's crazy.
It's the shape of a star.
Some like ice molds. Yeah.
For a science show, we're very pro misinformation.
But if you do find a hailstone or make a fun-looking one, they were like, okay, so you put it in a plastic bag individually. Don't group them.
Yeah.
They particularly want ones that are bigger than 7 centimeters wide. That's where they say the library's lacking. So if you get a big hailstone, immediately grab it, bag it, put it in the freezer, not touching anything if possible, like nothing stacked on top.
Next to the cane
crush
toads.
it.
Yeah.
Next to the cane
Yeah.
toads in the freezer, on top of the cane toads preferably.
No, we can't touch anything.
On top, well, just nothing on top, nothing pressing down, and then you get in touch with Dr. Joshua Soderholm and his team at UQ School of Environment, and they might be able to come grab it and add it to the library.
You're tuned into 4ZZZ. The show is No Idea with me, Max, Izzy, Peter, and Gabe. No Idea Space News. Apparently, during a recent episode of The Kardashians, do you ever watch that show?
What a great
That
introduction
is
to
such a
space
strong
news.
intro and only a few drinks deep.
The main protagonist, Kim Kardashian.
The main protagonist, of the show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Claimed that the 1969 moon landing didn't happen. Speaking with producers during the episode, Kim claims the space mission was fake and cites a few videos by Buzz Aldrin talking about how it never happened. So it has come to this. It's time for No Idea to step up.
Oh, this is our job, is it?
It's our role.
And debunk the 5 popular conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theory number
Getting
1.
my hater vibes on. All right.
Shadows in the moon landing photos prove the images were faked. There is one particular photo showing Neil Armstrong's shadow next to another object's shadow, and they are not in parallel. The conspiracy being that there must be multiple sources of light, not just the sun, causing the two shadows not to be parallel.
Not just like that the ground is a bit uneven.
Yep. Right.
Which happens on Earth all the time.
I know, you can do it. You can replicate it on Earth, no problem.
I'm going to do it right now.
Anyway, conspiracy theory number 2: the Apollo astronauts could not have survived Earth's radiation field. How did the Apollo astronauts travel through the Van Allen radiation belt and out of Earth's orbit unharmed?
Oh, now I have the answer to this, and this is, super difficult scientific.
Yeah.
They had a spaceship. Like they had a spaceship that people made and spent so
naked.
much time working on.
That's right. And they were traveling very, very quickly, and they weren't in the radiation zone for that long.
No.
Conspiracy number 3: why are there no stars in pictures of the NASA moon landings? If the image really was taken on the moon, shouldn't the sky be filled with stars? After all, there is no atmosphere to distort the image, no clouds to interrupt the glorious view. And so, to debunk this, the photo was actually taken during the day. So, tell me how many stars you see during the day when you're walking around Earth. So
One!
Yeah, the one.
One big one.
One
One
bright
big one.
Okay. Conspiracy number 4. Apollo 11 US flag is waving in the wind, but there's no wind on the moon. But if there's no atmosphere on the moon, there is no wind. So why is the flag waving? So NASA already thought about this.
I love this idea that there are some people who genuinely think that NASA, after spending billions of dollars with the best minds of the time in this intense race with Russia to reach the moon, didn't... Oh, there's going to be a big political thing about getting the flag up there. We should make sure we've got some stuff rigged up.
Yeah, so
that the flag is actually visible.
Yeah.
Not just drooping. So they put a telescopic arm across the top leading
I think
edge.
they
of the
starched it too or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they just unfurled it and took the photo. And of course, it's going to look like it's rippled and waving in the wind.
Yeah.
They didn't have an iron to iron it out beforehand or anything.
Unfortunately, a steamer didn't go up either.
And it's comparison.
Yeah, they were a little bit worried about weight.
That's right. And number 5, if we really went to the moon in 1969, why have we never been back? Apollo 17, the last Apollo mission to land astronauts on the moon, took place in 1972. So since then, humans have never returned.
There's not much there, to be honest.
And maybe that's
For
because we
us to
never
do.
went in the first place, they say. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, it simply comes back to the race was won. The US had shown. And so geopolitics changed. There was a Vietnam War happening. Money was going elsewhere. And also they had a change of priority about what to do in space. They developed the space shuttle program, and they also developed the ISS.
And maybe the guys got there and went, this isn't that great. This isn't great. And maybe we don't need to come back again. And that's okay. Sometimes I go to coffee shops and they have crap coffee and I don't return. That doesn't mean I never went in the first place. It just means it wasn't great.
Okay. You tune into 4ZZZ and the show is No Idea, and we've been getting some texts in. Gabe, did you ever seen that?
Kiel texted in about your story, Peter, saying earliest memory is being a newborn at a festival in Scotland, sitting on a tartan picnic mat under a huge marquee, and we were watching a band called Run Rig, and I can remember struggling to hold myself up while Ma was handing me a cracker. How good's that?
That's crazy. Like, I have another one that I don't usually say, which is of a similar thing of like they were saying, I remember being uncoordinated and struggling. I have a thing of, I think I remember being in a high chair once and being annoyed at the food and also struggling to get out. I remember feeling trapped, but I can't confirm that one. Like Marky can clearly confirm that one. I can't confirm mine. So
Marky also says I've clarified this with both parents a few times, and they cannot believe how detailed I can.
That's crazy.
That. Yeah. Interesting, Max. Based on that story you had of using filters to show younger versions of yourself in a sort of weird rigged up mirror thing and triggering memories from earlier childhood.
Yeah. And the reason we know it's Marky's name because he's a subscriber, or they are a subscriber. And if you want to subscribe, go to our website at 4ZZZ.org.au/support for $25 if you're under 18. If you've got a pet, $25. Concession, $40. A full subscription sets you back $80 for the year. Passionate, $140. Or a super sub, get your name written downstairs, $500. And the prize.
We've got a subscriber prize as well. Every month we'll use some of our sub outlets to give back to the community. This month we've had a new winery open down the road at 447 St. Paul's Terrace in the Valley. Dave's Wine Revival. No association with Dave from Eco Radio, I believe.
We don't know that.
We don't know that.
We have no idea.
They bring small batch wines made by Dave and other indie producers straight to you with no middlemen. They are providing a November subscriber prize giveaway worth $500, a wine tasting for 6, and a mixed case of 12 wines. Special thank you.
Which is great going into the silly season.
So
relevant.
They are available online and come on down to the Valley as well. So that is our members' prize for November.
And drop into the station. We always say hello to people.
I was going to say, just a few little walks down the road, we'd be here. So that's us, I think.
Like we said, Max can't leave.
We'll be here for not much longer. This Xanthommatin enriched show was brought to you thanks to all the subscribers of 4ZZZ. You can join them at 4ZZZ.org.au/support. On the 4ZZZ website is where you can also listen back to the full recording of this show with all the music as well as a bunch of our previous shows. The condensed version is available on your podcasting platform of choice. Just search up No Idea 4ZZZ. That's no with a K. No Idea 4ZZZ. We'll be back in your ears next week. Between now and then, watch out for Cyclone Peta. Keep your heart close to your head. Start a Hailstone library and see what happens if you put a kid filter on your phone and see if it triggers any memories. I'm keen to hear.
Make sure you validate them.
And then report. And then validate it with whoever was around at the time.
And we'll speak to you next week.
See ya.
Later.
I'm a goddamn marvel of modern science.